This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a declaration adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 1948. It represents the first global expression of rights to which all human beings are inherently entitled, and it protects the same rights of conscience as our own Constitution. Despite the intention behind the Bill of Rights adopted by many countries in the world, the modern form of slavery, referred to as human trafficking, is a huge global problem. While not legal in most countries of the world, slavery is still highly prevalent and believed to be one of the world's fastest growing criminal activities. All nations claim to have outlawed slavery, and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights explicitly condemns the practice. Despite that, the U.S. State Department estimates that more than 10 million people are victims of human trafficking today. Sadly, it's estimated that there are now more people enslaved through human trafficking worldwide than during the entire era of slavery in the USA. According to UNICEF, as many as 2 million children have been forced into prostitution. The perpetrators of modern-day slavery use various methods of violence, coercion, deception, force, and manipulation to control their victims. In 2013, the U.S. government estimated that at any given time, approximately 27 million men, women, and children have been victims of human trafficking. Within that 27 million, 18,000 people from over 50 countries are trafficked into the United States every year, and over 300,000 children are trafficked within the U.S. annually. Those are cold, hard statistics. They're important to know, but mere numbers cannot convey the horrors that victims of human trafficking are forced to endure, or the pain and suffering they experience. Many of the victims of human trafficking are young teenage girls. Older men play on their gullibility and desire for romance and adventure. Today, there are many advocates for stronger anti-trafficking laws and greater protection for survivors of all forms of human trafficking. But the problem continues to grow. The Civil War cost more than 600,000 American lives, left more than 400,000 Americans wounded and scarred the entire nation. This devastating conflict brought about the abolition of slavery and promised a new era of freedom. But it took nearly 100 years for that promise to be expressed in legislation through the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Unfortunately, it's not enough to pass laws if whole groups of people don't believe in them. So racism still has a presence in today's society. And now, a new kind of slavery has arisen, one that's even more depraved and vicious than the repressiveness of plantation slavery. The modern-day sex trade enslaves the most vulnerable among us and dehumanizes them. It will take people of faith, determination, and conviction to stand against the tyranny of human trafficking and care for the most vulnerable among us. We can remove this modern-day scourge from our country and from the rest of the world if we can collectively find the resolve to continue the powerful legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his fellow champions of America's civil rights movement.